landscape is starting to take shape now, with the first base coat on most of the modified areas. Still got more base coat up here, as you can still see the foam carved. This scene has been inspired by the previous photographs. Ferns and a few other bits of vegetation have got to be still added, which will come much later in the build. Also the water and that has got to be added. That'll come virtually at the very end. And the slate, some of the slate has got to be toned down to a slightly darker grey, which I will use Indian ink and rubbing alcohol, either brushed or sprayed onto it, to tone it down, and it brings the slate out much better, which we'll see the end result later in a later video. Painting is about finished now for the scenery, and we're ready to put the slate on, which is in the box there. It's crushed up plaster. It's been coloured with a black dye and black paint. That's all the base scenery colours there. For the backdrops, there's another slate mine around here. Coming together reasonably okay. Ballasting of the tracks, and further scenery's got to be put on in layers. So that's coming together fairly nicely. This dividing range is now ready for static grass to go on the top. The landscape is starting to come together nicely to get the desired result that I wish for. Here's a more active slate mine over this side. there's less vegetation on the faces of the work. It's all rubble around there, all the waste material. The brown spots going down, the streaks down, that's where we'll be putting water later on, just to say it's a nice wet area. Give that impression, hopefully. And the yard is yet to be made there. This scene has been inspired by the previous photographs. The buildings on the photograph will be put on a later date. The scene is just about ready for the buildings and the rusty tanks and stuff to go on. These areas are now ready for mine infrastructure to go on them. There'll be a number of different slate buildings put in and around on different spots, and also the incline ramps down here, and there'll be another cliff ramp down there, down the face of that centre bit there. Over here we've got a disused rail line there for an incline. That will be stone buildings going up the top there as well, all slate buildings. The slate walls are now coming up to what I want to achieve with the colouring. Apart from the rubble slate needs to be toned down with a bit of Indian ink and alcohol. Yeah, but basically that is looking quite nice now. Coming back to the overall scene here now. Now down here there will be a winding house put into this area just here, which will go down the main incline down here. That's the previous incline I was talking about earlier in the video there, in that area, and there'll be slate buildings put up into there too, as I discussed earlier. But the whole scene is sort of coming together quite nicely, I feel. And this is looking down to the yard area down there, the start of the yard area. Thank you for watching this video. This is an overall scene of what I've done to date. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes in the future. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and I can make someone else's day a little bit easier with their scenery work.